Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to post something on YouTube, mostly because it aggravated me a whole lot. I was trying to enjoy some of the riding season down here in beautifully muggy Alabama, and getting out on the road glide bandit there, trying to do the best I can, just ride safe, enjoy my day. My throttle was being a little sticky, so here's the throttle now. Not crazy, right? You just rotate it nice and smooth. Well, I was rotating it and it was like stopping and jerking. If I kept moving it, it would rotate smoothly. But if I stopped at any point and then tried to like engage a little more throttle or a little more throttle, say the speed limit increases or a hill's coming, whatever, normal rider indications. It was just uncomfortable. It wasn't enjoyable. I didn't want to ride the bike that way. Sorry, I don't have like a professional setup. This is just me posting a video because I said I would, and it annoyed the crap out of me. So got on YouTube, come to find out there's like zero good information about this. Apparently everybody that's doing like handlebar installations or whatever, there's nothing that just calls this out. So I didn't want to watch a 800,000 mile long video about how to take the entire bike apart and do all this super cool stuff. And and it wasn't even geared towards the problem or condition I was having. Like some people posted sticky throttle shorts. I watched all of those. Some people posted multiple minute-long videos on how to lubricate or clean or, yada, 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 what have you. So things that I didn't appreciate as far as I thought I was watching, I don't want to call it gospel, but, you YouTube fanatics know what I mean. You go out, you look for information on what you're trying to do. You watch a few videos to make sure, people are doing things that make sense to you or that it's clear or that the result is good. Difficulty be danged. You're not trying to, become a Harley mechanic, but you're also not trying to go in and get gouged, which I'll get back to. So handlebar end pops off, no big deal. This whole sensor, this is like the throttle by wire. It's exactly the same thing as a gas pedal in a car. It's not connected to anything mechanical. It is 1,000,000% electronic. You could say the gears that it turns on to the sensor inside is mechanical, but it's kind of a non-starter. So anyway, no matter what you do with the gas pedal in your car, is the same thing with the throttle on your bike, right? You twist it a little, computer says, all right, I'm getting this much signal, give it this much power, and it's all tuned to the engine's computer underneath your seat. And it also goes inside your fairing, which is where most of your electronics kind of meet up at. So it's like a little information superhighway for that. Anyway, as you try to troubleshoot and diagnose these things, when I got on the YouTube and the internet, I wasn't finding anything that really kind of met the need. So I just did my own thing. I finally found one video. This guy said, hey, take this bar end out, pull it out a little bit, drill a hole in it, not the bar, but in the handle, the throttle by wire system. They call it the twist grip sensor or twist throttle sensor, I believe is the technical Harley Davidson term for this junk part. Anyway, so take that out, pull it out a little bit, drill a little hole, lubricate it, work it back and forth, reinstall everything as needed, reconnect your warmers if you have them, the wires to your throttle grip warmers. And oh man, it was just such a lack of good information. So anyway, I fooled with it, and my bike it got better at first, but the cruise control cancel where you roll forward, it wasn't working real well. Like you had to kind of really punch it forward. I was like, man, like if it was smooth, and I've got a lot of experience mechanicking on things. I'm a good DIYer, or at least average, I guess. I break just under half of the things I work on. So I fix maybe 51%. But anyway, I like doing it, so I don't mind fooling with it. And if I make mistakes, that's great. This one was 100% me. You know, somebody's bad design that led me to it, but whatever. So I turned my bike on, went for a ride. Throttle was nice and smooth, or smoother. I won't say nice and smooth, but smoother. I was a lot more happy with it. But then when I tried cruise control, when I did the cancel, nothing really got going. So I was like, what do I do now? So make a long story longer, I ended up going to Harley Davidson. I had the bike picked up because when I got back, I had fooled with it again. And instead of the bike just not really operating well, it would go like right to red line. Like, oh my God, just turn it on, hit start. I mean, immediately blow your ears out in the carport, louder than all, you know, a rock concert, and definitely not a good condition. So not safe to ride. Had it picked up. Nice man came and got it, took it to the Harley Davidson in Montgomery, Alabama, and left it with them. I said, hey, this is what's wrong. I messed it up. Nobody else did it but me. You know, I tried drilling a hole, lubricating it, getting it smoother. You know, so anything you find in there beyond that, not my fault, but that's totally all my fault. I want that fixed. The sensor's a couple $100, and of course, labor rates right now are $5 million. So I, you know, sat around boo-hooing, waiting to ride my bike. You know, nice days rolling by after nice days rolling by. I've got time to ride, so when I'm not and I want to, it's like super disappointing. Like, you get pretty upset about it. And any riders know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not trying to go bar to bar and show off my bike. I want to go ride around, do my thing at my pace, go where I want to go, tank to tank, doesn't matter. Like, just want to go ride, explore the area. I'm new to here. So a little over a week goes by. They finally say, hey, your bike's ready, come get it. Awesome. You know, how much is this $20 repair going to cost me? And like $884. I was like, it's like a $200 part, so you got me for $600 in labor on something that's broke here. They're like, yeah, so come on in and we'll square up. I'm like, cool, I'm not gonna argue over the phone. I don't know what all happened. So I get in there and there's a charge for 2 different parts. And I was like, you know, in all the phone call conversations we had, I said, change this part. Specifically, the now that I know is called the twist grip sensor, you know, or throttle twist sensor. Just replace that part. It was like $120 online, up to like 210. There wasn't really aftermarket versions of it. It seemed like everybody just kind of, you know, Chinesiumed the new part, or, you know, bought a OEM. So it was cookie cutter, you know. But there was another part in there, and it went to my brake. And I was like, well, what the flub? You know, like, my brakes work fine. There was no issues with my brakes. Why are we touching brake parts? It was $200. On the write-up, when you saw, which I don't have in front of me, but I'll just tell you, it's fairly basic. They charged me for installing the throttle twist grip sensor and labor. And then right below it, another charge for installing the brake line sensor, which kind of pigtails in on that line of electronics that goes through the handlebar. So it was 100% of the maintenance twice to install 2 parts that go in the same one location. And nobody called, nobody asked, nobody said, hey, this is a problem, we found this, X, Y, Z. They just, your bike's ready for pickup, come pay us, you can have your bike back. You know, like, they weren't rude about it. They were super nice, all that good stuff. Show up, looked at the bill, and I was like, I need to speak to your manager. I'm like, what's wrong? It's like, you're charging me for 2 labor charges to essentially go to the same place twice when I never asked for you to go fix the other thing. If you would have called me, I would have totally said do it. But at the same point, you would have only done it once for 1 charge, not twice for two different things in the same location. It's like, yeah, we had to put your left brake pad on and it was installed perfectly. We got your car back together, and then, we found out your right brake pad was bad, so we had to take it all back off and charge you all again. It's like, that's not my fault, that's your fault. And the communication wasn't there. So it's not a very difficult process. Somewhere down in the handlebar area, it snakes over and it all connects together. This lever, like you could imagine, would have like a normal switch, just like your brake pedal. You depress it a little, it actuates it completes a circuit, light comes on the back of the bike, everybody's happy. So anyway, my frustration was that I knew this has been since 2008, if I'm correct. Harley has been doing the throttle by wire. So it was very frustrating to see that all of these folks were out there basically just hacking away at this thing incorrectly. And I'm not blaming them at all. I'm blaming kind of like the Harley mechanics out there. Like, you're not bad people, I don't think. Most of you are good guys. I know some mechanics. I ride a lot. But my issue is, if you know that everybody's out there hacking this thing up, doing it wrong, why wouldn't you just get up off your high horse and either kind of make a video around this or make a video for it? I mean, for crying out loud, if you go to some of these car websites to replace an alternator, there's like a professional, people got paid to put this video together video about it, with, editing and links and all that stuff. Not a crappy video by some fat dude in Alabama who's like frustrated that he can't fix his own bike with, a million sets of tools, because nobody had caught it in the industry. And I feel like if somebody had done that due diligence, that it would have all been fine and it would have all worked and everybody would have been happy at the end of the day. So don't assume because a guy on YouTube is doing it that it was done correctly or the right way. And also, I'm not advocating for dealerships. I feel like people should work on their own stuff. If you're a professional installer, I'm not. I'm far from it. I can barely brush my teeth without directions. So I just do the best I can. I know what I'm doing enough to feel confident to work on my own stuff and maybe basic things on other people's cars, but I always tell them I'm not a professional. So if something happens, you get what you pay for. I'm cheap. That's why it's, I'm not charging you $140 or $200 an hour in labor. I'm just going to charge you what I think it costs me at the end of the day after I'm done, because I'm trying to hook you up and you're trying to, basically get by. Some things are simple. I can do them. Some things are more complex. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but I always tell them I don't feel like I'm knowledgeable enough to perform that task. So if you want me to try it, I will, but I would recommend X, Y, or Z, because I'm trying to make money too in those instances, and but I'm not trying to take advantage like a dealership would. Even the poor mechanics that are working at shops with $180 an hour labor rates, the mechanics aren't seeing that money. The dealership is. They got insurance and cost, and even though most of them still make you bring your own tools, which I think is an absolute just ridiculous thing to say to people. It's like, exactly what tools Ford, Chevy, Harley, Dodge, Nissan, Honda needs because you're a car dealership. You have a garage. Honda and all of them should just have a freaking parts book and say, here's all of our specialty tools and tools required to work on our vehicles for your technicians to use. Train them on how to use our tools. If you need more, we'll replace them, And if you've got people in your shop that are trying to get 5-finger discounts, it sounds like you should get better people in your shop. Because in the good old US of A, it is ridiculous to think that a young man, 18 and older, is going to show up to a shop with a, $10,000 Snap-on box with, 5 times that in specialty tools that's going to be able to work, or that you're going to, maybe have someone in the shop that could do that. So I know it's kind of a long punch down the way to get to where I'm going, But I feel like if people are doing it the right way for the right reasons, that there's no question as to what we're trying to accomplish, which is making things easier on everybody, not just trying to make money. When you specifically work towards driving up cost because you want to be rich, that's, to me, that's a no bad dog moment. You need to be trying to make the industry smarter so that people are safe, so that equipment runs as it's designed, and so that we can get down the road and maybe, save a couple of dollars along the way so that we could spend that money on our families, or put it in savings, or invest it in something, or buy something useless with it that we otherwise couldn't afford. And maybe that, changes how we approach our finances. And, it's like unbelievably silly where the industry has gotten. And to find a problem like that couldn't be resolved from a few easy clicks. I mean, I went down, 30 different videos / pages, and, I'm sure I could have found a Harley schematic, and somebody would probably scream that in the comments if anybody watches this video for 16 minutes or whatever it ends up being. But I always wondered how people made videos 8 minutes or longer because they wanted to get YouTube ad money, and here I am babbling for 16 minutes. But it really made me mad, mostly at myself for doing it incorrectly, but also because, how has this been out for almost 20 years and there's not one, clear as bell video on, hey, this is how you do a twist grip sensor on a Harley Davidson touring bike, 08 and newer, because they're all the frickin' same, like exactly the same from 2008, minus some software updates maybe, and minor routing changes to some of that electronic need. But if you're out there and you're watching and you've had the same problem or a similar problem, post it. If you think this video is something that people could understand to use for themselves, or that they've been kind of had the wool pulled over them, throw that out there. It's all good. We're just trying to make things easier for people. You want to be a good neighbor to your brothers and sisters out there. I live in the United States, so if you're a United States person watching this and you have a motorcycle and you think this is something you want to talk about or share, please do. If you think I'm just a big old dumb idiot, that's fine too. I don't claim to be God's gift to anything. I'm just trying to make things better. And I would just say, if there's better information out there, share that, so that stupid people like me don't have to sit there and, almost get hogwashed over an $880 bill at Harley Davidson for doing a $200 part swap, when in reality it should have cost me maybe $400 tops. And that's with getting a clean bike back. So I would have appreciated that as well, because it's just courtesy. But it used to be. So thank y'all. Have a great day. God bless.